everybody, my name's Helen, and today I have a book haul for you. Now, I know I said in my last book haul that I probably wasn't gonna have like a real book haul for a while, but this one's pretty big. 10 books. I have no excuse. So the first book I'm gonna show is not actually in the thing because I'm reading it right now, but that is Carry On by Rainbow Rowell, and this is the story of Simon Snow and Baz, and it's wonderful so far. Haven't quite finished it yet, but I'll talk about it a lot in my wrap-up. I'll probably do a review of it. The next book that I have here is Hush, An Irish Princess's Tale by Donna Jo Napoli. And I'm not entirely sure what this is about, but I was getting some books on Book Outlet, and this one just looked really cool, and it had good ratings on Goodreads. And it says on the back here, Malcorca is an Irish princess, the first daughter of a magnificent kingdom. But her charmed life changes the day she is kidnapped and taken aboard a marauding slave ship. Trapped in a world both unfamiliar and cruel, Malcorca finds that her powerlessness gives her clarity, and she is the master of what she says. Choosing to take a vow of silence, Malcorca becomes an object of fascination to her captors, and then she realizes that any power, no matter how little, can make a difference. So that sounds super cool. This is also a super short book. It's only 308 pages. This is just overall a stunning book. Like, I'm really excited to dive into this one. The next book I have here is actually the entire reason I placed the Book Outlet order, and it is The Red Tent by Anita Diamant. I don't actually remember who I saw talking about this recently, but they described it as what the Bible would have been like if it was written by a woman, and that just sounds really interesting to me, and it has a mini-series that I want to watch, but I want to read this first. I'm really excited to see how this one actually goes. The next book that I have here is one that I've wanted to read for a really long time, and when I saw it on Book Outlet when I was placing the order with the Red Tent, it just seemed like the perfect time to order it. So I have here Sweet Venom by Tara Lynn Childs, and this is about 3 descendants of Medusa. That sounds pretty interesting. I've always been a fan of Greek mythology, and Medusa, not necessarily one of my favorites, but one of the ones I find the most intriguing. The next book that I have here is just absolutely stunning. It's Strands of Bronze and Gold by Jane Nickerson, and this is a fairy tale retelling of the Bluebeard fairy tale. So what I've gathered from the summary of this, and I could be totally wrong, this girl Sophia gets a letter from her godfather inviting her to this lavish abbey for her to go and live in. And he keeps showering her with these gifts, and she's just not sure how to take it. And she kind of realizes that things aren't quite what they seem. And the next book I have here is the last book from my Book Outlet order, and it's one of the ones I was most excited to get, and it is Unraveled by Jennifer Albin, and this is the 3rd and final book in the Cruel World trilogy. And I still haven't read Altered, but I read Cruel almost 2 years ago now, and I absolutely loved it. I loved the concept. It's about these people who have the literal ability to weave time and space into a tapestry. It's just really cool. I really like it, and this is a lot thinner than I thought it was going to be. This is only 288 pages, so I will fly through this when I get to it. And the next 4 books that I have here, also the last 4, are books that I got with my chapters card, and these were all on sale for $6 each. The first book I have from chapters is Forgive Me Leonard Peacock by Matthew Quick. And I've been wanting to read a book by Matthew Quick for a really long time. I really have wanted to read this one. I've wanted to read Silver Linings Playbook. But this one just happened to be on sale for really cheap, so there we go. I don't know a whole lot about this, but I'm pretty sure it has to do with a guy who brings a gun to school and kills a guy and then kills himself. And this is like his apology. I could be totally wrong about that, do not quote me. Now, if you guys watched my September wrap-up, which I will link up on one of the corners, I think it's this one, and I read Sisters Read by Jackson Pierce last month, which is her fairy tale retelling of Little Red Riding Hood, and I absolutely loved it. And one of the books that was there that was for sale was Cold Spell by Jackson Pierce, and this is the 4th book in her fairy tale retellings, although from my understanding you can read them in any order you want. This one is a Snow Queen retelling, so that is really interesting to me. I really like Frozen. I'm not gonna lie, I have a poster right next to me of Anna and Elsa. Like, it's kind of bad how much I like it. And I'm just really interested to see Jackson Pierce's take on it, because her story with Sisters Red was really dark. and so I'm excited for this one to be dark as well. And the next book that I have here is Let the Sky Fall by Shannon Messenger, and I do not know a whole lot about this book, but I know that Kat has it from over at Katie-tastic, and I can't remember if she's read it or if she only hauled it, but she was very interested in it, and for $6, I mean, I can't really go wrong. And finally, the last book that I have here is probably the most random, but it's one of the ones I'm most excited to read about. The True Blue Scouts of Sugarman's Swamp by Kathy Apett. And this is a National Book Award finalist, which is pretty exciting. And this has to do with a couple of raccoon brothers who look after some scouts at Sugarman's Swamp. And there's a 12-year-old boy, and he and the raccoons have to do something together. I don't really know. The inside is kind of vague. So those are the excessive number of books that I acquired this month. What books have you bought this month? And have you read any of the books that I mentioned in this video? And if so, what did you think of them? Let me know down below. I do respond to every comment on my videos, and I absolutely love hearing from you. And I'll see you soon with a new video. Bye!